Rodri has surpassed Sergio Busquets. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. In this video, I want to talk about impact, the impact of what both players have had on their team. So why do I say that Rodri has surpassed Sergio Busquets? In my honest opinion, I believe that Rodri has had a bigger impact for his teams than Sergio Busquets. Now, hear me out here. Sergio Busquets, right, he played with the best two midfielders ever, Xavi and Iniesta, for Barcelona and for Spain. He had the privilege to play most of his career with Xavi and Iniesta for Barcelona and Spain. And we saw that when Xavi and Iniesta were running things, they won many trophies. Now, I'm not trying to minimize the impact of Sergio Busquets, but if you take out Sergio Busquets and leave Xavi and Iniesta in central midfield and replace Busquets with a different defensive midfielder, I believe that Spain and Barcelona would have still won many trophies. In fact, Yaya Toure used to play in that Sergio Busquets position in the 08-09 season with Xavi and Iniesta, and they won the treble. The reason why Pep sold Yaya Toure was because of personal issues and how Yaya Toure didn't fit his tiki-taka type of play. So we've seen a different defensive midfielder play with Xavi and Iniesta, and they won the sextuple, the treble as well. Now with Rodri, if you take Rodri out of the Spanish football team, they're not the same. They're not the same because the current Spanish football team doesn't have any single midfielder apart from Rodri that is on par with Xavi and Iniesta. Let's keep it real here. Pedri, Gavi, Marino, Dani Olmo, yes, these are great players, but they do not hold a candle next to Xavi and Iniesta. So if you take out Rodri and put another defensive midfielder in Rodri's place, this quality of the Spanish national team would decrease, in my opinion. It would decrease. So that is the impact Rodri has across the teams he plays. When Rodri's missing from Man City games, Man City don't really look the same. They don't feel the same. They don't pass the same. They don't dominate games the same. This guy Rodri has a Ballon d'Or. Not that that's really important, but I'm just showing his impact here. We saw him in the 2022-2023 season just dominate everything. Scored a winning Champions League goal, ball out in the Nations League, ball out in City's treble campaign. When he wasn't playing, City just don't feel the same. They don't feel the same. Now with Xavi and Iniesta, if you take out Busquets from that midfield triangle with a quality defensive midfielder, they're still winning games because guess what? Xavi and Iniesta are the main two midfielders that are winning games, influencing games, keeping the ball moving, tiki-taka. Now, I'm not trying to diminish Sergio Busquets' contributions. Hell no. He is one of the best midfielders defensively of all time. In the past 10 years, past 15 years, however long you want to go back. I'm talking here about impact. If you take out Sergio Busquets and leave Xavi and Iniesta in the Barcelona team and the Spanish team and put a different defensive midfielder in that midfield, they're still winning games. They're still winning games. However, when you take out Rodri from his teams, from the Spanish team, they don't feel the same. Even in the World Cup final, Rodri was subbed out. And you can see that Spain starts to lose a little bit of control of the game near the end where Rodri left. And you can see when Rodri doesn't play for Man City, when Rodri does not play for Man City lacks ability. They lack that kind of fluid play. The impact Rodri has as an individual player is far more impactful than Sergio Busquets. Sergio Busquets, bear in mind here, played with prime Messi, prime Iniesta, prime Xavi. Rodri has not played with a player that has come close to Xavi, Iniesta, or Messi. Let's keep it real here. Some of y'all will say De Bruyne doesn't come close to Xavi and Iniesta from an impact point of view. De Bruyne, great player, but he's not a Xavi or Iniesta type player. Rodri has not had that opportunity to play with these generational players that are all-time greats, whereas Sergio Busquets has. And because Sergio Busquets has played with these kind of generational players, it makes his life a lot more easier. It makes his life as a defensive midfielder a lot more easier. The goals are being scored by Messi. The midfielder is being controlled and providing creativity to the forwards by Xavi and Iniesta. Once again, Busquets played over 10 years, almost 10 years with Xavi and Iniesta. Almost 10 years. And Xavi and Iniesta are generational midfielders. Ever since they're both retired, ever since they stopped playing, no midfielders come close to Xavi and Iniesta. You could say Modric, but you could say Cruz. So two midfielders that carried on the baton from Xavi and Iniesta. And I actually rate Xavi and Iniesta above Kroos and Modric, in my honest opinion. Rodri hasn't played with generational greats. He hasn't. Now, if you're telling me that Fabian Ruiz, if you're telling me that Gavi, Pedri are holding a candle to Xavi and Iniesta, what are you smoking? What are you drinking, bro? Let's keep it real here. And I want to be very, very clear here. This isn't to diminish Busquets' contributions. I remember Busquets very, very well. His passing, his vision, his movement, he was fantastic. But I'm saying he played with generational greats, and that makes his life a lot more easier. Who's Rodri playing with right now that's a generational great? Yamal is a future generational great, but he's 19, and in the World Cup final, he was a bit quiet, in my opinion. Rodri dominated that World Cup final. In fact, in my opinion, if Rodri isn't playing in that World Cup final or that Euro 2024 final, Spain are not winning those trophies. However, if Busquets isn't playing in the 2010 final and the Euro 2020 and the Euro 2012 final, Spain are still winning because once again they have Xavi and Iniesta running the show. Let's keep it real here. And in fact, they have David Villa, Fernando Torres, Sergio Fabregas. The current midfield batch of Spain, Euro 2024 and Euro 2026 do not come close to the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Sergio Fabregases, in my honest opinion. The David Silvas, they don't come close. I'm saying that Busquets has had the opportunity to play with players that made his life a lot more easier, that lessened the load. Rodri carries a lot of plays through him, defensively, attacking wise, position wise, and even scoring important goals. And in fact, if you want to go like the best season that Busquets has and the best season that Rodri has, Rodri's best season, in my opinion, was probably the 2022-2023 season. Ballon d'Or performances, Champions League winning goal, Champions League player of the season, if I'm not mistaken, treble with City, right? That was his best year. The best year of Sergio Busquets doesn't come close to the best year of Rodri. The best year of Sergio Busquets does not come close to the best year of Rodri. I'm just being real here. These are both great players, but from an impact point of view, right now, a lot of teams cannot play well without Rodri. The Spanish football team is not the same without Rodri. The Man City team is a bit finicky without Rodri. Whereas if you take Busquets out of the Barcelona team and the Spanish team, there may be some impact being felt, I'll be honest with you. But again, with Xavi and Iniesta playing and Messi playing as well, you won't really feel it to an extent. You won't really feel it. And we have evidence where Yaya Toure was in that position where Busquets played and Barca won the treble, Barca dominated, Barca won the sextuple. So I believe that from an impact point of view, Rodri is better than Busquets. Let me know what you thought in your comments. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. Shirtless match day here. Appreciate it. Thanks.